podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
We don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I'll put on the gloves again.
¡Viva México!
Canelo wants to unify all the titles.
When did you realize, Andy, that you could take his power?
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me. So, talking about the Mexican style, I just proved it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game to see the Boxing Voice.
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs, joined alongside the biggest right hand in all of Border Wars, Mario Munguia. What it do, man? What it do?
What up?
Mario.
What is up this morning, Thursday? You know what that means. Flagship later today. Herring and Frampton this weekend. Gonna be a fun fight to watch, and it's a fight that we've been, trying to get for a while. I remember them talking about it this time last year about that fight, and obviously because of the situation with COVID, it got, delayed and all that, but going down this weekend. But a lot of fights hopefully getting set to be made official. I think
Which one?
I think by next week we'll have a couple of names official of Crawford, and then who was your boy that you had put up on the pre-pro said Lil B Hop. Saying he's got a big fight too, so we'll see.
We'll see what he cooks up. But I heard so Lou DiBella's suing somebody, right? So,
he's suing Foster.
Exactly. So was that the big fight? Because if you read the article, it's like, Foster was trying to do a fight with somebody else, and Lou got him to number 3, and da-da-da-da-da. So I'm like, wow, was that the fight? But right now, you should be seeing, you and everybody else following along, should be seeing the new moves of Andy Ruiz. Now, he did put this out on his social media, but it was only like an 8-second clip. And my man really had like 2-3 minutes of this shit, and you can see it now. We put it together for you as one long video, and we're gonna go ahead and loop it just to see his new movement. And I say moving like Canelo because he's doing everything that Canelo's doing. Obviously, this is Canelo's gym, and this is Canelo's bag, and we've seen Canelo get up under this water bag and work on his head movement and his uppercuts and things like that. So I believe that Andy, obviously, we also seen Canelo giving him instruction on his social media, but I believe that Andy is moving like Canelo, being taught how to do certain things that he might have never done in the past, and I cannot wait. He looks amazing. It's just night and day.
He looks good.
It's night and day. This movement is night. We've never seen him do this. And remember, this is supposed to be a fat guy. This guy's getting under the bag. He's using his legs. He's on his toes. It's everything that we want from a person that is allegedly working on things in the gym.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you're watching the video. I don't know if
I
you
am
watched
watching it, yeah.
What do you think? Because, you yourself are a little wide. I'm not saying you're heavy, but you got broad shoulders and a big chest. Do you find these moves easy to do when you're in the gym?
I find it having a wider base, like he is helpful to for moving. I think that the one thing that I've started to learn about is balance and where your feet are, and I could see like his positioning and just the athletic movement. You know, it's more than just dipping down. It's more than just bent. Using his lower half to get low. It's a lot of stuff. I am definitely excited to see him. The one thing though I'll say is that like him fighting Arreola, it's kind of like a bittersweet thing. It's like if he goes out there and fights this magnificent fight and shows, how much better he is, well, that's great. But then at the same time, it won't be, the firefight that, I hope it becomes at some point. That's what Arreola brings to the table, is to see some kind of dogfight out of him. And, two fighters with Hispanic surnames, specifically, Mexican. It's it could be a really fun night. But I don't know, man. I don't know if this version of Andy just outworks and out hustles him, like not even just starches him or clips him or anything like that, but just is just a better fighter all around and makes it a very one-sided fight.
I think that they're working on, doing the Canelo, just like the title suggests, staying in front of their target, giving lateral movement, working hooks to the body and uppercuts to the head. I think that's what they're working on. I think they picked Arreola because, like Yeardom, he can make them look good. One, he's someone they can work on things with because, as you can see, he's working on the legs. We've seen that he's physically working on the legs, and they've become, the talk of the boxing industry in terms of the transformation of Andy Ruiz or his quads. So he's going to be on his feet. I think he's going to make Arreola come to him as, Arreola's more known for not being in shape, right? Like, it's always been his knock. Like,
got it. Yes,
I eat pizzas, I eat tacos. I swear this time I'm going to do it. So they're going to make him come to Andy. And that's why he's working on these step backs. That's why he's working on these uppercuts and pivots. This head movement is all for that. Bring the man to you, do your damage, bop, 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 get out the way. You know what I mean? And I think it's going to be a lot of body work. We're going to see, again, moving like Canelo. We're going to see Andy placing that left hook to the body a lot.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah, no, I think that, KD in the chat put it a certain way, and I'm going to kind of run with that. It's like this version of Andy looks really good. His physically, he looks the part. He's moving the part. Like, this is all things that are trending positive, right? Mm-hmm. But no matter how you slice it, with Arreola as the opponent, it's like there are going to be certain things that you have to take into factor. Like, one of those things is, how does the pay-per-view measure up? Like, is it a fight that ends up being worthy of a pay-per-view? I don't know. Yeardom was one thing because Canelo had given you so many great fights. So to give him the pass with Yeardom, some people didn't, some people could, whatever. But with Andy Ruiz, he's been out of the ring so long that you can't help but understand why he'd fight a guy like Arreola. At the same time, him looking so good, it's like, is this even the fight that we thought it was, a year ago? Is this the same fight? Like an Andy Ruiz who's trying to get to his best version of himself and fighting a guy like Arreola, if that's not, and he's already the best version of himself, and he starts this guy, it's like, what are we doing this for at the end of the day? Other than to see how good he looks.
Well, I think that if he starches him, it's no different than Canelo Yeardom. It gets to show Andy's levels, what he worked on. Like, I think that this is the level opponent so they can practice on what they worked on. Yeah. Al Heyman understands the the Andy is a franchise, and I think that's why they've given him a year to get back, a year worth of training, because they understand what they have on their hands. It's just about maneuvering Andy properly into the right situation and him continuing to do what he does, continuing to, do his part by looking as good as he's looking, because he's looking impressive. He really has me drawn in. The pivots, getting under the aqua bag. I mean, everything, the legs. And it's not just the quads, man. The whole legs. Like, my man is working out here, man. He's working. And I really like the way he's slipping and rolling. The rolls are important, especially for a guy like Andy who's had success at the high level with the left hook. So, rolling with that left hook brings even more torque. I'm really excited. And I know that Arreola is the 1-2 kind of guy down the middle. Like, I'm coming straight at you, which is going to allow all this head movement that we see here to come into play. As Arreola comes straight, slip out the way, boom, left hook to the body, double that, bring it back up to the top. I mean, this is what I'm expecting.
Yes,
there could be
absolutely.
a lot of pressure on Andy because obviously with the linking of such a big team, we expect big things.
Definitely. Yeah, and Dr. Mofongo reminded me of something too. It's like, this is a guy who beat AJ, and the version that we're seeing right now looks better than and I mean physically speaking. Obviously, looking good on a bag and looking good in the ring are two different things, but him physically looking good, it's like, to get a better version of the guy that fought and beat AJ in the first fight, that's a really dangerous thing for the heavyweight division. That is a really dangerous thing for all the fighters who assume that they are the guy. Your Jared Andersons, your my bad. What's his name? The kid with Top Rank now. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this is one of those things where, like, you could put Andy in a fight and have him look the part, and then it's like, how many people even give him the shot after that? But because he's Hispanic, it's like he'll always generate that name value that people will want and be willing to risk. So we could see after Arreola, some really good and competitive fights. I don't know if they throw him in there to the deep end right away, but I say, why not? This is a guy, again, who beat Joshua and is looking better than he ever has. So I don't think that this is a process where you need an Arreola and then like another, like a Charles Martin type or anything like that. This is a fight that we can see what we need to see and move on. Because like I said, I mean, this was a year ago. We thought this was going to be a battle of two big guys who say that they are going to come in shape and then often don't. And it was like the winner was going to be the guy who didn't, eat as much or exercise better. But now this is starting to look like something much different than that. This is like, man, I think Supermex might want to reconsider what he's been saying for the last year because Andy's looking special.
Yeah, man. And as far as like what's next, and if he looks too good, would they give him a shot? I think that the economics of it all will allow for that, right? If they offered Andy $5 million off a loss, what are they gonna offer him off of a pay-per-view success?
Yeah.
And I mean $5 million that was offered by Matchroom's Eddie Hearn and Dillian White. And that's a fight that I would love. And I know that Dillian would think about, taking that fight in the interim while waiting. I mean, it's a really big fight. It's a perfect U.S. debut fight for Dillian.
Definitely.
All the pressure would be on Andy. And for Dillian, obviously he would have his own pressures coming from the UK. He would have his UK fans expecting him to make a splash. But in America, Dillian would be unknown to the casuals, so the pressure would be on Andy to perform. It was a good fight when it was mentioned. It just wasn't the right time. And, it's up to Eddie Reynoso to let us know if after Arreola, it's the right time. Maybe it all depends on the performance and how Andy looks, how he does whatever he does, so we'll see.
Do you think that there's a chance that Reynoso, who, by the way, made it a 1-fight deal or a per fight type of situation with them, right?
Honestly, I think that situation is over. I think
I think it's over too. I'm just saying is the point I was trying to make is he was kind of taking it slow a little bit at first, dipping his toe with Andy. Do you think that he stays on that route and maybe gives him another build-up type of fight?
I think that whole, cautiousness, tentativeness that Reynoso had, I think that's out the window now. I think he sees he's got a dude that's motivated, and that whole media game was to put his foot down. Like, I'm not gonna be chasing you. I'm just like Robles. I'm not gonna follow you and call you. You have to come and work out, and we'll have you on a one. That was just to get Andy to be like, yo, Dan, this dude's serious, so let me not fuck this up. But I think at this point we see the change in Andy. I think that whole, probationary period is done, man. They see what they got, bro. The dude, have you watched the 3 episodes he dropped? And Andy Ruiz's YouTube channel?
No, I have not seen all 3.
That's the thing, bro. This dude is really, 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 really working. Like, he's really working. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they have to see that. They're in that gym. He works out with Canelo, strength and conditioning coach. The conversation has to at least come into play. Like, yo, it's Andy Chingong, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting down in this motherfucker. Like, they got him lifting weights, and they're not using anything big. I watched the last episode yesterday. He was using like some 10s or 15s dumbbells, you know what I'm saying? So, he's just losing the weight. Look at the, bro.
Well, how strong he is, I think, too, is going to be a question.
Look at
What'd you say?
Look at the thumbnail picture, man. My man looks like one of those, Mexican Chicanos that be working out in the park and with all the tattoos. He's yoked up right now.
Now, are you concerned, and shout out to Twin Munoz who put this in my head, are you concerned at all with the loss of power that comes with the loss of size? No. You know why I'm not? You know why I'm not?
Andy don't look like he lost weight to me. Like, he looked like he toned up.
He definitely looks like he lost fat, but that's the thing people often don't, understand fully is that, first of all, muscle weighs more than fat, right? So when you're building muscle, right, you'll look leaner and still not you'll still weigh. You can still weigh pretty close to what you were weighing, despite the fact that you've lost a bunch of fat and gained a bunch of muscle, because again, it's heavier. So there's a part of me that wouldn't be super surprised if Andy doesn't come in much smaller in terms of weight. Obviously he's going to be, he's going to weigh less than what he weighed last time. I'm going to check real quick too, because I don't remember what he came in for the Joshua fight. Do you remember at all?
286.
286, that's right. Okay.
Crazy, 286, something crazy like that.
Yeah, so he definitely isn't coming into to that, but I honestly don't expect him to be some, really, really small weight. He's a big guy. Height wise, he's 6'2", I think. He never looked 6'2" because how big he was. You know what I mean? He always looked shorter to me. And I'd seen him in person too fight. So it's I could see him come in slightly smaller, but I don't think that he is going to lose that much power. Or at least I'm not worried about that as much. Because the other part of that is if he loses a little bit of power, but makes up for it in other ways and is able to catch fighters, sleeping, we always say it's the punch that you don't see. And if he's able to generate more of that kind of output, and he's able to capitalize like that, then I'm not saying who needs the power, but in a sense, who needs the rest of that power when you're catching guys off guard and you're able to move in a way that people don't expect from you? It's a beautiful thing.
I'm just not getting caught up on him losing power because he decided to work out. That's the stupidest thing in the world that people come up with. Oh, he's been fat all his life, so now he's going to be weak. He won't know how to walk.
Well, I wouldn't
run,
say it's stupid because that's what happens in other weight classes, but the heavyweight division is different.
It is.
You know what I mean? So it's like people that watch boxing for long enough understand that when you go down in weight into another weight class, there are, speed factors, there are power factors, there's even stamina factors, right? But with the heavyweight division, it's different.
But Mario, like, the people that are saying this are acting as if Andy was in a healthy weight. Like,
yeah, true.
How could getting out of obesity be a bad thing? Like, you guys are not making any sense. No, it won't be a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude literally said it. His quotes are, I had titties and I could not do certain punches. But you guys are talking about punch resistance and weird shit. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, that's what it is, though. That's always going to come out. Like, what is it called? It's like the insecurities, I guess. People are not sure what they will get. So, you know, they're just creating shit in their head. But again, how could a dude that was not moving the way that he's moving be in any worse a position? Like, he could not move this fluidly. This is not what he used to do. So there's no way. And first of all, how do we gauge this alleged power? He knocked one dude out, and then people called it a fluke. Like, I mean, did he knock out Parker? Should he knock out Arreola if he didn't knock out Parker only because he knocked out AJ? Like, what are we talking about? We setting these unrealistic standards. Before he fought AJ, was he fucking knocking out everybody?
No.
Exactly. So they're setting these standards because he beat AJ. So they want him to be great yet again. But
is that really unfair, though? I mean, he beat AJ, who we could say is either the second or third best heavyweight in the world. Now, even though the class is a lot deeper than it was in the Klitschko era, and even though these fighters are getting better and better and catching up with the top three, I don't know. I think that win shows what kind of fighter Andy could be. So for a version of him that looks in better shape, looks like he's more serious, I just can't help but expect a knockout victory. You think, is that wrong? I mean, should I not?
No, listen, hey, that's all good. I'm just saying he wasn't a knockout artist before. I'm not expecting one after. And again,
that's fair. That's fair.
And these people that are like, yo, you put on muscle, it might affect him. How? He was eating whole pies. I literally have it on camera. He ate a whole pie and was still considered fast. He ate a whole pie, had excess fat hanging from his arms, and still was considered fast. So now you're telling me he tightens that up and he got slow? Like, stop it. Just stop. You guys are reaching so much. You're telling me that the man who ate a pie and could do a 7-punch combination is now going to stop eating pies, start doing daily workouts, and that's going to fuck up his fighting style somehow. Like, you guys are silly, man. Boxing is a sport of repetition. So you're telling me Andy finally got disciplined and is doing what he's supposed to do every single day, and somehow it's gonna be bad. Like, yo, you guys are really silly, man. I wish I could take odds on some of the bullshit y'all bring up, man. But anyway, man, I don't know. I just can't see. I can't see a guy that shapes up, all of a sudden having less punch resistance. All of a sudden gassing out. I don't.
But to be fair, though, and I'm trolling you a little bit here, just so. But part of this is you want him to succeed because you've called this from the beginning. I remember how much shit you got when you said, "Bro, he's going to Canelo's camp. Him and Canelo are going to work side by side. They're going to work hard. He's going to see Canelo," and people laughed. Like, I remember people laughing, and honestly, it looks like that's exactly what happened. It looks like the benefits of being in a camp, and not just a camp, but the gym of the best fighter in the world, of one of the hardest working fighters probably in the history of the sport, it's done nothing but been a benefit to him.
Dude, it's like if you get an internship, and good morning, Francis, after us, jump in. It's like if you get an internship. You're in Texas. All of a sudden, your prayers are answered. All the letters you wrote Joe Rogan, he finally answers because he moved to Texas. And he says, come be my intern. You're not going to learn anything. You're not going to get better at your job being under one of the best podcasters in the world. And everything that I said would happen is happening. Canelo is literally like, yo, no, Andy, this is what you do. Step back, then throw the, like, what fighter would, and and there's going to be a lot of haters that go, oh, who gives a fuck? He's getting advice from Canelo. He got to do it in the ring. But it's like Floyd giving you advice. It's the new Floyd giving you advice. I know that hurts.
Bullet, big up yourself. What are there, yard or there, abroad? Big up your damn self. Give yourself a hug. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Shout out to my Lord and Savior for another one, because without him, none of this would be possible. Shout out to you, and you. Listen, man, we all said it. Well, I shouldn't say we all, but I know a few of us on the panel definitely said that it would be asinine to think that Andy Ruiz joining Canelo's team, that there won't be any upgrade in his worth ethic and his skill set. And clearly we're seeing a little glimpse of that before we get our pay-per-view card with him and Chris Arreola. We've seen that with Oscar Valdez, and we've seen that with Ryan Garcia. So it would be kind of crazy to think that Andy wouldn't take anything away from that. What's going on, fellas? What's up?
What up?
What
you know what's the difference in that camp between the between the Floyd camp, right? Because people mad that I said that's the new Floyd, right? But you're right. I shouldn't even say he's the new Floyd. He's just Canelo, because Floyd couldn't take none of his fighters to the levels that Canelo's camp is going. Tell me when Floyd was champ simultaneously with TMT champs. I'll wait.
Okay.
Maybe who? Ishe? You know what I'm saying? Did he have 3 champs at once? Did he have 2 champs at once and 4 or 5 potentials? I'm just saying. Everybody in that clique hot except Sanchez, in my opinion. Sanchez, let's see, maybe he changes my mind. But, after struggling, in my opinion, I know he knocked him out, but that dude was like a kickboxer or some shit. And and it wasn't, even the Dwelko fight, like he ain't win me over yet.
Yo, I'll tell you though, that Dillian White Ruiz fight, I don't want to jump the gun. That's the other thing, too. I saw Rue put this and Carlitos, because they're absolutely right. This is an IG video, and we've only seen social media type stuff. We have to see him in the ring. So I don't want to jump the gun. But that said,
who said that,
the fighter that I expect to see
Stop taking your advice from these UK dudes, man. Like,
Rue's not from the UK.
Bro, you said Carlito, right?
I said Rue and Carlitos.
All right, well, fucking Rue's from the UK.
He's Mexican. You
Rue's
pronounce
from
it
the UK,
Carlitos.
man. Rue is from the UK, bro. He's been a Lomachenko fan all his life, man. So listen,
bro, Lomachenko.
Andy been fighting Mario. Like, stop letting them brainwash you. Andy is the one with 120 amateur fights as a heavyweight.
Yeah, no,
he's not Carlos Negron, who started at like 135 and then became a heavyweight he got 100+ amateurs at heavyweight. Like, what are these weirdos talking about? He know how to fight. His problem was discipline. His problem was not eating a whole fucking pie. And ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm 6'5", and I could sit down and eat 4 slices out of a normal extra large 8-slice pie. I could do that. But I stop at 4. You gonna go for 8, dog? You taking 8? Like, come on, man. Listen. We ain't getting nothing but the best version of him. Don't let these dudes brainwash you. He was already great enough to be an amateur with 100+ wins. Like, don't let these dudes brainwash you. He been having them titties all his life, beating these same fighters.
But
now
okay, and that's
now he telling you, yo, I'm throwing punches I never threw before, Francis. He said I could get under shit because my gut ain't there. Imagine a big ass fucking 20-pound ball. You can't get under the rope. You can't get under the hook. Now that ball is smaller. You like, whoa, rolling. You seen him in the video how he rolling?
Don't forget that. Don't forget that you said that. And shout out to my man. I can't remember his name right now from Atlanta. You said that he had a big target on his Carlos Llanes. Shout out to him. So it's like the same thing, right? With that target, it's hard to move it. It's hard to move your body and dip under. Like it's easy to get the body shots off. So the fact that Andy's has his legs spread and he can dip under lets you know that that tummy ain't in the way no more, man. And he getting he's fit.
The fluidity.
That's a good point.
The fluidity of the movement, gentlemen.
But listen.
It's
no.
fluidity,
Listen.
the weight. It's not because he's not just going through he's looking so smooth in the rolls and in the slips.
Okay, so I just want to make this very clear because while you're right, it's not about being brainwashed that Andy isn't that guy. It's about letting the new flavor of the month cloud my judgment already, because I've already thought Dillian Whyte was one of the best fighters in the heavyweight division, not named Tyson Fury, AJ, or Wilder. Now I'm not so sure that he isn't the best heavyweight, not named Tyson Fury. You know, I don't know that for sure. And so for me, it's not about not giving Andy his just due or giving him his credit that he's already earned. It's about not placing so much hype in a situation where we have yet to see him perform, and then that cloud my judgment on the fighters that have already shown what they can do. You know, because Dillian Whyte showed what he can do against a much better fighter than Arreola, let's be honest. So it's not just about, giving Andy the credit. It's about giving, everyone else.
Can I tell you? Hold on, Nestor. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You think about this, okay? I don't know about you, but being a former athlete, when your mind says, yo, run this 5 miles, and your body's like, man, you tripping. Andy's realizing his mind is saying, yo, you can dip and roll. And his body is saying, yeah, you can dip and roll now, bro. You took off the weight. Like, that's the difference for me. Like, he wanted to dip and roll 3 or 4 times, and his body wouldn't allow him to dip and roll 3 or 4 times. Now, his mind and his body are like in sync. They can move together. That's why you're seeing that fluid movement. You know what I'm saying? Of pairing the shots and all. And this is just a little glimpse, man. You can't really. We're dissecting the sample size because that's all we have. But the sample size looks pretty good to me. What does it look good to you guys too?
Yo, it looks great. It looks great.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm like more concerned now that Arreola is walking into a really bad spot. Because a year ago when we were talking about this fight, right, last summer, this was like, oh, what a great fight. 2 chubby Mexicans that have had a really tough time, in the past. Like, this seems even to a degree. And I don't think anybody would confuse Andy Ruiz's ability with Arreola's ability. Even the most novice boxing fan could probably see the difference between the two. But regardless, there was like a narrative there for this fight. Then the fight gets put on pay-per-view, which, we kind of already saw coming. And we have all this, new footage and stuff out. And the narrative is, for me, slowly changed from, hey, let's see what happens. This is an interesting matchup that I, suspect Andy Ruiz will win, to, okay, how good is Andy Ruiz going to look now? Is he going to look so good that the rest of the division is put on notice? Can he both come back with a softer touch and capture the imaginations of everybody? Because that's a really tough thing to do. Because when you beat a guy who is beatable, most people say, well, the guy was beatable. When you're Dillian Whyte and you beat a Povetkin, it's like, holy shit, we want to see Wilder Dillian Whyte now. We want to see, I think Joshua Whyte is a better fight now than it was when Joshua won the first time. So it's like a lot of different things change, So is Arreola that guy? I don't know. But can Ruiz put on that performance? We'll see.
Well, listen, if Ruiz is going to drop a 6'4", 245+ pound man being overweight, I'd love to see what he looked like being in shape, moving like how he's moving against a significantly smaller man, and one that's not going to be moving and posing that much of a threat.
Let me ask you guys, and in the chat, simple yes or no answer. Do you believe when Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz first met, June 1st, 2019, and Andy weighed in that Friday before the fight at 268, do you think that Andy was in the best shape of his life for the Andy Ruiz fight, for the AJ fight?
That's a tough ask. I don't think so. I don't think so.
In the chat, yes or no, was Andy at his best physical condition for the AJ first fight? He was weighing in at 268 on Friday. What about you, Francis?
My apologies. Sorry, I was saying it again.
Ignorant Boxing says no, but he also says C. So which one is it? Etho Cool says yes.
He wants to be right twice.
KDR says no, he wasn't at his ideal
Yo,
weight. Vincent
everybody.
says
Say the second half of
no.
me, please.
No.
He got on 268, and what happened?
All right. So everybody is saying no, he wasn't at his ideal weight. The first fight when he went on the scales.
Whoa. That's two questions. That's two different questions.
I didn't mean weight. I meant, was he, whatever I said the first time, was he in the best shape of his life?
Okay, you said was he in the best shape of his career? Against AJ.
That fight? Yes.
You think he was in the best shape of his career for that fight?
Yes. The reason why I would say that, because he came right off the back of another fight. So he put two camps together. All he needed to do was, maybe take a week off in between that fight and then get right back into camp and work. But we know that discipline obviously is something that he struggles with.
That's right.
That could have been part of,
That's right. Because here's the thing. You can see the weight that he put on, right? So he fought Dermientrenko. He took the AJ fight on 5 weeks' notice. So he fought Dermientrenko, took the AJ fight at 5 weeks' notice. He weighed in at 262 for Dermientrenko. He weighed in at 268 for AJ. So the celebration after the Dermientrenko fight, the Snickers bars and the pizzas that he was accustomed to eating, he put that on. But he went to a 5-week camp and he took some of that off. But again, did he come into the AJ fight at his best possible, self, whatever I said the first time? Francis said yes. A lot of people in the chat saying no, which is great.
I say no too.
Which is great, because that means that you and I and them believe that even at 268, right, where he was in our mind overweight, he took AJ's punches. So the people earlier that were like, oh, wow, he lost 25 pounds, man. He might not have a punch resistance. Well, okay. Second fight, he weighed in 283. That's a 15-pound difference. So let's go from 283. Then we got depression, because you beat me at 283. I weighed in Friday at 283. But what did I come into the ring at when I took my robe off and shocked the world? Was I 283? Was I 283? Okay, but now you beat me and you took my titles and I failed and I let everyone down. How much depression did I go through? How much food did I eat then? We don't know. But okay, let's start from 283 and subtract 25 pounds that they said he lost. So he's at 258. So all of a sudden, he got no punch resistance at 258 when he's fought at 258 versus Joseph Parker and didn't get knocked down or knocked out. He fought at 255 versus Parker. So let's stop with the lies about, oh, he lost weight. He ain't gonna have no punch resistance. What are we talking about? The proof is in the pudding. Numbers don't lie. Lie. He gains weight and could take a punch. He'll come in lower and could take a punch. He's shown it here. Listen, I just want y'all to know, he could still go down to as low as what? 246 looks like his lowest weight.
246, yes, that was the lowest.
So he could still go down and still be the same.
He fought Joseph Parker at 255.
Yeah, but
right after that, he went 260. Then he went back to 262. The fight after that, he went to it was 255, 260, then 252.
But you got to explain that. He fought Joseph Parker, got shelved, and then had to buy himself out the contract. So yeah, I'm telling you about depression.
Cool.
He told you I couldn't. Before Al gave him the $800,000, he couldn't even pay his rent. This is what y'all don't get. Of course, he was feeding himself. Of course, he wasn't disciplined. But now he's rich, gentlemen. Now he's rich. It's different. I'm trying to teach y'all something, but it's all right.
I remember that Ray Austin fight, and here's the thing. I can't remember if it was that Ray Austin fight. I remember there was a fight where he looked really good, and he had looked.
He was 258 for Ray Austin.
Was he? Okay, so there you go. That's pretty low for that time span. So I don't know. I think it's different though. Like, I don't know if we could say, oh, he could get all the way down to like 245, simply because like the muscle he's built and stuff. Like, I don't know how low he could get, you know, if he's going to continue to.
He still got a stomach, champ. He still, like, people act like, oh, he lost 20 pounds out of his stomach. He's going to lose his equilibrium. Yo, he's used to walking around with that big stomach, so now he's not going to have balance. Like, dudes are so crazy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't understand.
They're trying to say, right? They're trying to say, like, if he slims down, he's so accustomed to the stomach that he won't know how to move without the stomach. Like, that's this new narrative. Like, bro, he could get down as much as he wants, man.
Ness, check this. He fought Kevin Johnson at 252, right? Mm-hmm. Went 10 rounds with him. Then he fought Alexander at 262 and stopped him in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm. So you saying when he's fatter, he got more power?
He stopped AJ at 268. It would seem so. We've seen that most of his stoppage came when he was a little bit heavier. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm looking at box reckon.
I mean, maybe that can be proven true. I mean, as of right now, you know, I can't go off that. Like, Demetrenko got stopped at 262 because that was the first fight Al gave him after buying him out his top-ranked contract. So he was happy to get back in the ring. He was ready to go. And then the Joshua knockout came. Why? Because it was a fucking dream fight that he got out of an inbox. You know, it's the opportunity of a lifetime, and he fought his heart out. So many circumstances in there that I can't just say it's the weight.
Yeah, I agree. And just so we're very clear, you know, Ness talks about potential depression and all that stuff. What happened in the second fight with Joshua was, you know, completely a different scenario. You know, yes, he had the money. Yes, he had, you know, but that was the problem, is he had too much stuff at once. Like, he didn't know how to handle it. You know, and this is from him. You know, I'm not making this up. Like, this is, you know, based off of interviews and things that he said. You know, he overindulged and he undertrained. You know, he was living high off that win.
Look, there's a guy right here. He's like, oh, he was rich after the AJ first fight. Yeah, my friend.
I was.
But this is what we're trying to tell you, right? You can't pay your bills. Your mortgage is backed up. Or rather, he said rent, right? He said rent, right? It wasn't mortgage. He said rent. Al comes, gives you $800,000, buys you out the top-ranked contract, throws you the Demetrenko bone. You know what I'm saying? You just starting to eat. You just starting. You just paid your back rent. Like, how much you think he made for Demetrenko? How much you think he had to pay back off the 800? We don't know. But Mario Francis, do you think Al just said, here, Andy, you can have $800,000, 200 short of $1 million. Here, you can just have it. I'm gonna buy you out your contract, and it's on me. Or is it worked out in that contract somewhere that I get my motherfucking $800,000 back?
Obviously.
So now Definitely. You get the AJ fight and you won $4 to $6 mil, $4 to $9 mil, whatever people want to give him, however many mil. But that was the problem. Now you went from broke to super rich. So in between that rematch time, he was just living life. Interviews from all over, sponsorships. Everybody want to talk to you now. It was the Mike Tyson effect, man. Remember, Mike was partying when he lost to Buster Douglas, man. So it's like, that happens. You live and you learn. So he lived and he learned. And he had to deal with that letdown from all his people. But I
Yeah.
think we got our first guest on. Is this Mr. Nicholson?
Yes, sir.
How are you, my friend? Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you taking out
Oh,
the time, man.
nah, thanks for having me, man.
All right, so this is Damon Nicholson. For anybody that doesn't know, he's the dude that said he's stopping the hype. You ain't getting knocked out in the first round, Damon. Let me hear you say, I'm not getting stopped by this guy.
I'm not getting stopped by this guy at all, man. So I may stop him myself, and that's just what it is, you know. It's not I may, I am. I probably most likely am, you know. But I'm definitely not getting stopped by this guy, man. By this kid, you know, man. I've been in the gym since I was 6 years old. 6 years old. What? I'm 3 to 4 years older than him. No, I'm 4 years older than him. Well, he was 2 years old. He was just barely learning how to walk. Didn't even know how to talk. You know, man.
I mean, age ain't nothing but a number, though, champ.
Mr. Nicholson, is it possible I can get you to just turn that camera sideways for us so we can get the full view? You know what I'm saying? Show them what's going on. If you can unlock that screen, either slide up or down, depending on the phone.
There we go.
Yeah,
perfect.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Ness.
Age.
Pull it back a little bit because it's cutting off your face a little bit. Yeah, just so we can, or sit back a little bit. Yeah, one or two. Go ahead, Ness.
There you go.
You're right. Age isn't nothing but a number, man. But in the sport of boxing, man, I'm a old man for real. You know, but you know, in this past 3 years, man, I've been learning so much, man. You know, when I was a kid, my trainer always told me, man, you fight too much like a pro. You know, he was like, man, you gotta chill out. You're an amateur, man. You gotta fight too much like a pro. And you know, God rest his soul, he died in 2016, but he was in a nursing home for about 4 to 5 years. So I wasn't really working with my trainer for a while, the trainer I started with. So you know, I went to another gym, was working, learned how to fight in the inside real great, but I wasn't doing the things that I was brought up doing. And you know, when I went to where I'm at now, Upton, it's like they just resurrected my skills, just brought back everything that I was learning when I was younger. So, man, like I said, you know, you're right. Age isn't nothing but a number, man. But in the
When
sport
exactly
of boxing,
did you hook up with Calvin Ford in Uptown, Jim?
Wait, real quick, before you answer that, real quick, let's just give a proper introduction. Damon Nicholson, who is 23, 3-1, is going to be fighting Edgar Berlanga, 16-0, April 24th, and that's going to be on the ESPN show. And just so people understand, because everybody talks about Edgar Berlanga's power, Damon has 20 knockouts and 23 wins. So, you know, the power's
and everybody
for him too. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. Draw, I've heard.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Calvin
when
Ford.
did you get with Calvin Ford?
I hooked up. I started training with Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny in 2018, right after my loss to Jesse Hott.
Okay. Because that's what I was getting at. I wanted to make sure that when you were stopped, you wasn't with this new team, because you said you ain't getting stopped. But if Jesse, I mean, you know, boxing fans do math like that. If Jesse could stop him, Berlanga could stop him. That's how they looking at it.
Right. And you know, in that Jesse Hott fight, a lot of people look at that fight and be like, oh wow, I mean, you got stopped by Jesse. You know, I mean, if you really watch the fight, you know, I mean, I'm not a person to make excuses, but if you really watch the fight, it was a lot going on in that fight. Mentally, I was fighting Jesse, and I was fighting the ref. I was fighting myself. I was fighting my problems. It was just a lot going on in my life during that time, you know. And you know, my dad, he had mentioned me. He was like, man, look, if we're going to continue boxing, man, he was like, man, you gotta get some. You have to give us some real trainers. So I was doing my research on just different gyms and stuff. And the crazy thing about it, man, I actually had reached out to Andre Rozier.
Oh, wow.
After my Jesse Hott fight, I had reached out to Andre Rozier, man. And, you know, he never got back with me. So, you know, everything happens for a reason, man. You know, like I'm a firm believer that, you know, God puts us in situations for reasons. Like I hit him a few times, man. Like I remember I was at I think the Danny Garcia Lamont Peterson fight, and I seen Andre Rozier, and I wanted to get some Havoc shorts. You know, he made the Havoc shorts.
Yeah.
So he gave me his card. So I had his number. I texted him.
Bruh, let me just tell you right now, don't take it personal. That dude is the worst.
Oh no!
He don't get back to
he don't
get back to people.
I would never take it personal. You know, he's a very busy man.
I try to do a 40 short order with him. 40 shorts, and and we had calls and everything, and he just too busy, man. He too busy.
I would never take anything like that personal because, like I said, I've been in the boxing game my entire life, so I understand things like that. You know, like I trained with the headbangers, man. You know, at one point, headbangers was one of the biggest gyms in the world. You know, we had we had both 10 to 15 world champions and contenders in the gym training at one time. You know, so I understand things like that. But I'm just saying, you know, everything happens for a reason. You know, but you know, at that time, you know, my dad was like, man, look, if you're gonna continue, he said, man, I want you to retire. I was like, man, just give me one more fight. I said, give me one more fight. He was like, man, look, if you're gonna continue, man, we got to get some real trainers. You know, because man, like I said, we've been through a lot in boxing, man, especially me and my dad together. You know, we've been through a lot, the ups and downs, the ins and outs of the game. You know, so my dad, he didn't want me to continue without having people who really love the game, who really love the sport of boxing, and you know, he didn't want to continue that way. So I was like, man, let's just go get some sparring one day. So we went to Upton, and I've been knowing Coach Calvin and Kenny since I started boxing, but I really met Coach Calvin. We went to the Junior Golden Gloves in 2001. I wasn't fighting; I was just there with a teammate, and you know, Coach Calvin, his money didn't go through yet, so he needed a room for his kids to stay in. So my dad was like, "Look, man, you can come stay with us, man." And us and Coach Calvin, man, we've been like that ever since then. And you know, so when I went there, was training and sparring, I was like, I told my dad, I said, man, what you think about training? And he was like, man, I was about to ask you the same thing. And we went to Coach Calvin, we sat down and talked. And the first thing my Coach Calvin was like, look, man, you know, we're going to train you. He was like, man, but your dad, he's the head man. And you know, when he told me that, I was like, you know what? This is what we need to be, because every gym that I ever went, never was like, you know, your dad gonna be the head man because he's been there from day one and stuff like that. They're just always like, oh yeah, let's train, or they either put my dad aside, try to get him out the picture or something, you know. But when he said that, I said, man, this is exactly where I need to be, and the sky's been the limit ever since.
How you doing? This is Francis from Canada.
What's up, Francis? How you doing, brother?
What's happening, brother? I just wanted to know, what was your reaction to your dad when you asked him for that one fight? Like when you were saying, Dad, just give me one more fight, and then when you guys decided to make the switch and they wanted him to be a part, was he back in? Because at one point he wanted you to retire. So at what point, when did his mindset change?
Honestly, After I beat a guy named Isaac Rodriguez. You know, he was with him. Of course, when we was training, he was just loving the way I was training. He seen me getting better and everything. But it was for sure after he seen me beat Isaac Rodriguez and the way I beat him. You know, he could tell that I was back to my old self. I was comfortable with Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny, and everything was just back to normal. You know, like far as my focus. I wasn't desperate for anything. I wasn't out here just living, you know. I was focused, 100% focused, because I was back to learning. You know, it was a long period of time where when I was in the gym and I wasn't really learning anything. I was just in the gym, just working, just sparring, just going through the motions, you know. But like I said, when I went to Upton, man, it was like it sparked my brain because I was back learning boxing again. You know, I thought I was at a point where I wasn't done learning, but it wasn't too much I hadn't seen yet or before. But like I said, when I went to Upton, man, it was like, man, just brought things back, man. I was learning again. It was things I was doing that I wasn't used to doing. And when I fought Isaac Rodriguez, that was literally right after the Jesse Hart fight, man. It was just like everything was just came to play, man. It was like it was like a miracle, man. You know, my dad, he was like, man, we got it. We got it. It's time.
Now,
you know,
it hasn't all been like a smooth or rosy road after getting with Coach Calvin, because like obviously that's what you want us to believe. That's what the fight fans want to believe, that are rooting for you to beat Berlanga, right? Because this guy is a puncher. So, you know, fight fans, we use BoxRec. We go to the boxer and like, damn, Steve Rose put you down, but you're saying forget
I wasn't
that.
with Coach Calvin when I.
That's what I'm saying. You telling us. Okay. Forget this Steve Rose who was knocked out by Gennady Golovkin.
Man, that's my Canadian brethren, man. Shout out to Steve Rose, man. Start playing with him,
man. He's a good dude.
That's the second time you said that, Ness. I couldn't let you do it again, man.
I'm telling the world he from Canada. I'm telling the world Steve Rose from Canada. He got put out by Gennady. You telling us, yo, forget that. I wasn't with Coach Calvin and them. That's old news.
And even if I wasn't with Coach Calvin or I wasn't where I'm at now, you know, if I was with Headbangers, I would have stopped Jesse Hart, and I would have stopped Steve Rose. You know, when I fought these guys, you know, I wasn't getting the type of training that I was used to getting. You know, even though I was overtraining, but I wasn't getting the type of training that I was getting at Headbangers or even at Upton, you know. So I mean, regardless, you know, I mean, those times when I fought these guys, it wasn't the Damon Nicholson that people were used to seeing. I could fight either one of them guys today or tomorrow, or take this back 5 years ago. Before I fought them, I would have stopped them both. You know, if you look at my track record, man, my first 17 fights, I was 16-1 with 16 knockouts. You know, so that means and I didn't lose again until after I left Headbangers. You know,
it's on me. Hold up. So again, I'm just trying to. Because you don't want to be stopped. The whole thing, and the thing is, this guy, that's his MO. Like, that's how they're building him. The dude that got 16 fights with 16 knockouts.
That's the whole MO for Top Rank and ESPN. They want this streak to continue.
They want that streak to continue. But you know what? I'm not trying to please the crowd or get them to think that he's not going to stop me anyway. Because you know what? I'm going to bet on myself. And have you seen the odds?
I'm trying to look for him. I couldn't find it. I've been trying to look for it.
Let me look right now.
30-1.
Let me look right
30
now.
to 1?
So if I bet $100 on myself, that's $3,000.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about what the people think. I want them to think that, please.
But so what? 30-1 to win or 30-1 to get out the first round?
30-1 for him to win.
Okay.
I don't stop, buddy. All right, I'll go sit down. I'm doing talking. But I'm not. Trust me, I'm not worried about what the people think. I'm going to get out the first round. He may not get out the first round, honestly.
But Damon, this the last tough one. I promise you, this is the last tough one. Right?
It's your job.
So Berlanga is like, he hot. People think he got the goods. He knocking everybody out, and you was with Upton and Calvin Ford when you got put down by Mike God, like older than me. And no disrespect, I know he tough. He just beat my man Dennis Douglin, who's my New Jersey native, mama's boy. But like,
he beat Dennis Douglin. He's beating Eric Moon as well.
You guys are supposed to beat Mike God if you want us to believe you gonna beat Berlanga. You feel me?
But I beat Mike God.
He did beat Mike God.
He put you down. If he could put you down, can't
boxing.
Berlanga? But that's why the odds is 30-1.
I got caught.
But that's
Flash knockdowns.
So what happens?
Did you see Berlanga last amateur fight?
But what happens when you get caught with Berlanga?
Did you see Berlanga last amateur fight?
Nah.
What you mean his last? Are you talking about the sparring that we saw?
No. His last amateur fight before he turned pro in 2016.
Nah.
I don't think I have.
The puffy gloves. The puffy gloves.
So you're doing your homework. You went back and found some tape.
The puffy gloves. His last amateur fight, he got dropped. He basically almost got knocked out. His last amateur fight. So
headgear,
listen, I did my research. So okay,
was it headgear? Was it headgear or no headgear?
It was no headgear.
Oh wow, okay.
No headgear. I'm sorry. Somebody was calling. Hold on, I gotta put my phone on do not disturb. Hold on. I did. It is. That's crazy. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay,
you're good.
So go over there. I'm talking. So it was no headgear. So okay, so pay attention to this. His last amateur fight, he gets dropped. The dude, he was just a strong, awkward dude. You could tell. Berlanga was kind of beating him and stuff. They was going back and forth. But okay, since then he's been pro. Since his last amateur fight, he's turned pro. So we all know when you turn pro, you fighting. You got to build yourself up. You got to build yourself up. You're not gonna go in the fight and fight. He's not gonna fight me his first 10 professional fights. Okay, so since his first amateur fight, can you name one fighter that can get in the ring and beat my guy? Can you name one of them?
I think Linnell Bellows might could. You don't think so?
Get the hell out of here.
Bro, he a boxer. He a boxer.
What? He's a what?
Hey.
He's a puncher, Ness.
I think Bellows could box, man. I think he can
Bellows,
box.
Bellows can't box to save his goddamn life. Bellows is a C minus fighter.
What about?
I would knock Linnell Bellows out in the first round. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. My guy would knock Linnell Bellows out in the first round. I guarantee you. My man, Travis Ruiz beating Linnell Bellows.
Hey, Ness, this is the type of energy I'm talking about. Along to go with the topic. Hold on. To go with the topic. Andy Ruiz switched camps, and now he's training, looking like he can win a world champion. Same thing you're talking about. When you was headbangers at Uptown, like it's a different type of work you're getting. You're training with different people. It's a different.
But listen. Name me one fighter that can beat my guy that
Berlanga beat.
Berlanga has fought. Please, please.
Damon Nicholson.
My guy has upset some good fighters.
Damon
Nicholson. He caught me with a good punch. I got back up. It was the impact that really hurt me, and I got back up. Then he dropped me in the 6th round. The 7th round, I took off, but the next 3 rounds I won non-doubt. And the only reason why he dropped me because I crossed my feet up. But before then, I was going to stop him, man.
But can you get up from a Berlanga punch? People not getting up. Did you think he was going to do that to Bellows?
These people are scared.
Bellows scared.
Hell yeah. What? He was scared before he got in the ring.
Oh, man. I can't wait for this fight, man.
Listen, let me tell you how I know he was scared before he got in the ring.
Who you sparring for this?
No. When he was getting ready for the fight, I was in Las Vegas. In camp with Gervonta Davis. I was sparring. The first person I sparred was Andrew Tabiti. Okay, I sparred Andrew Tabiti, and then I sparred I forgot my man. His last name is Ahmed.
Oh, Ahmed Abayali?
Yes, I was sparring them. I was sparring them guys when I first got there. This is
sparring. That's a cruiserweight. That's a cruiserweight.
This is a cruiserweight. These are 2 cruiserweights.
Yeah.
Okay, so boom, I'm sparring these guys. They said, man, you need to spar, man. Shoot, man, you need to spar Bellows, man. I said, all right. I came all the way to Vegas, tell them to come to Floyd Gym and we can spar. It was like, man, he's about to fight Edgar Berlanga, man. You the closest thing to him right now, man. You hit just as hard as he do.
Oh shit.
I said I may hit harder than him, So I pretty much I know how to throw my punches better. And see, people don't realize it's not about how hard you can hit in boxing, man. Accuracy. It's about how correctly and perfectly you throw your punches and how you can avoid punches. Boxing is a science. It's not, I hit the hardest, I'm gonna win. No. If that's the case, why Canelo didn't beat Floyd?
All right, so let me
You know?
ask you this question. You said who on Berlanga's resume could beat Mike Guy? So who on your resume could beat Berlanga?
Wow.
Man, is that a serious question?
I mean, it's the same question.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this though.
It could be
Who can
somebody
beat
that beat
Berlanga?
you, maybe, you think.
I don't even, man. Listen.
Yo, you fought Emmanuel Lee.
You got Jesse
too.
Hart. Jesse Hart is the only name I need to name, man. Jesse Hart. I've been in there with punches. Isaac Rodriguez. Look up his resume. He was 25 and 2 with 20
He beat
knockouts.
Isaac beat Brian Vera.
And man,
who's the one of the
I didn't even
who's
know
got one
that.
of the best
Brian
chins.
Vera?
Yo,
Who's
you
got one of
fought
the best chins
Emmanuel
I've ever
Lean,
seen.
too. You fought
He has one of the
Lean.
best chins.
One of the best chins ever.
You fought Emmanuel Lean as well, but you know, you got the draw, though.
Steve Rose. He's only lost to Golovkin.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
I don't
that's
even
true.
like saying names like that.
Come on.
So Steve Rose will beat Berlanga.
I don't know. He can.
You better beat Berlanga with
It's
this
possible.
energy. I want to see this win, man.
Berlanga doesn't have a chin, man.
Woo.
You basing that off the Lubin sparring?
Lubin didn't drop Berlanga.
You ain't see the sparring?
I seen it, but I didn't see him drop him.
No,
He dropped him?
No, he ain't drop him. But that, man, you know,
I think he might have stiffened his leg a little bit.
few more punches, it could have been that, right?
And okay, so I mean, I don't like basing things off sparring, but
Lubin said that was old. Like we had Lubin on the show. He said that was old.
Yeah.
I think he was still an amateur back then.
I have no idea.
So
I
who
don't
you
like
spar
basing
for this
things off
camp?
sparring.
Who you brought in to get you ready for Berlanga?
I actually, man, we've been going to different gyms, man. You know, because of COVID. So we really didn't bring anybody in, but I've been going back and forth to Philly. We've been going different places, man. I spotted this one kid the other day, man. Shout out to him. His name is JYB on Instagram. The Junkyard Dog. I forgot his name. They call him Jay. But like in the beginning, man, you know, I sparred Jerron Ennis, man. That shout out to that kid.
So you said
that
JYB the Junkyard Dog?
The Junkyard Dog. That's all I know is Instagram. But listen, let me tell you, I gotta tell y'all this story. I sparred Jerron Ennis, right?
Oh wow.
Jerron Ennis boots. He fights 147 pounds.
Uh-huh.
That young kid hits harder than anybody I've ever been in the ring with.
Nah, man. Don't say that on this show. We got some hardcore Ennis fans out here.
Listen to me. I'm going to keep it a straight 100. Jerron Ennis, I've been in there with heavyweights, man. Jerron Ennis hits harder than anybody I've ever been in the ring with. And I'm going to just leave it at that.
So you saying he's stopping Lipinets?
Yeah.
He said that confidently too. He said,
"Yeah,
yeah."
I give Lipinets, man,
4 or 5 rounds,
six rounds just because of his heart, man.
How many rounds you did with Ennis?
I think we did 4-minute rounds, and then I did rounds with Yema. Yeah. I'm doing the.
Is it Junkyard Dog Muay?
Nah, it's just Junk. His name is JYB. Hold on. Can I get up? Can y'all can't see me no more, right?
It's all good. Do what you gotta do.
Okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm about to tell you. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Good brother, man. Good brother.
You said
amateur pro, amateur pro.
Yeah.
So
say it again.
Is he an amateur or a pro?
Oh, he's an amateur. I was just telling you that's who I sparred the other day. But I've been sparring like I said, I sparred Jerron Ennis, Yema. His name is Yema. That's Hasim Rockman, little brother. Mm-hmm. He's a cruiserweight. A sparred kid. Have you ever heard of Demetrius Ballard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sparred Demetrius Ballard.
He used to be with Golden Boy, right?
World. That's what it is. JYD_world. Say it again.
He used to be with Golden Boy, right?
Yeah. He used to be with Golden Boy. Demetrius Ballard. I spotted a kid named Devar Fahadi. He's
good work, man.
Yeah, Devar Fahadi. He fights 168. He fights in my weight class, not weight class, but he lives here in Maryland. A young kid named Dante White. He's a cruiserweight. I've been sparring a lot of big guys, man. A lot of big guys, a lot of heavyweights, cruiserweights, and just started sparring some middleweights, super middleweights, and light heavyweights, man. So his camp has been good, man.
So you expecting now? Why'd you accept this fight as an 8-rounder?
I didn't know it was an 8-rounder, man. When they called me back, they called us back in December, man. They called us back in December. Told us what they was offering. I'm like, man, I'm not taking that for no 10-round fight. My dad was like, man, nah, we're not gonna take it. So they called us recently. We was like, man, look, we wanna, can we push for this? They was like, all right, well, we'll go for it, And when they called us and sent us the contract, they said, yeah, it's for 8 rounds. I said, what? I said, for real?
Yeah, that's at a disadvantage. You get one knockdown, it's over. You got to get out that hole.
You can't hate what you can't see, man.
I hear you.
He's been hitting everything he's seeing, so we hope that you wanted them that he can't see.
I got a few questions from the people for you. James Valdez, San Antonio, Texas says, would you be willing to change your nickname after you defeat Berlanga, and what would that name be? You got this. Let's go, champ.
Definitely. Would I be willing to change my nickname?
What's your nickname?
I probably won't even use my nickname no more after I beat him. Just Damon Nicholson.
But what is the nickname for those that don't know?
The best at it.
Oh, the best at it.
Yeah.
I mean, now you might as well stick with that. You beat this.
You know what I'm saying?
You beat this red hot prospect. You can milk a trilogy out this month if you beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you beat him, I'm sure they're gonna be offering you a rematch.
Who's gonna beat him?
That's my dad. That's my dad.
Listen.
That's my dad.
Pop talking, yeah.
Hey, this kid ain't never been in this kind of water here. This deep water here. Okay.
Nah, man, we can't do all of that.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling.
I know, but
we understand.
It does, man.
It is what it is.
No, listen, don't apologize when we love the energy.
No, I'm not.
I can't wait. No, I don't want you to apologize, so don't you worry about it. We gonna be tuned in, and this the energy we need, because listen, if somebody got to stand up to the bully, that's what happened. It took somebody to stand up to Tyson before he got that first loss, so we'll see,
That's
man.
right.
We got another one from New Orleans. Ruiner 504 says, do you think Berlanga is being rushed in his career?
Yes. Come on, man.
I'll help you out.
I do think. Oh, go get Papa phone. I do think he's being rushed, man. Number one, like I said, he hasn't. All the fighters he's been in there with, like when you're moving a young fighter, especially a superstar, you have to move them. You have to move them properly. Yeah, he has all first round knockouts, but put him in there with Mike Guy. Somebody like Mike Guy. That's perfect for him right now. When you get somebody in there with somebody with a puncher like me, you're taking a big chance. Like I said, I'm 23-3, 20 knockouts. Like, let him get through Mike Guy, Dennis Douglas, fighters like that, and then step up to me. It's levels. I'm the level, and I understand that it's levels to boxing. Right now, I'm the step over Dennis Douglas and Mike Guy in there. Let him get through them two, and then boom, then me.
So you feel
and then
offended.
Rosado, and then Danny Jacobs, fights like that.
So you feel offended?
No, I don't feel offended at all. Nah, I don't. It's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's fine.
Look at, you see the angle he's playing last?
it's you see this hat I got on, man?
Hunting season.
It's hunting season, man. It's time to hunt.
Let me ask you, when are you guys coming to Florida to get used to the humidity and all that out here, man?
Man, I'm coming out. I'm not coming to Florida until the week of the fight.
What?
Right now. Yeah, it's the humidity. That's nothing. That's nothing but extra air, man. That's more oxygen, So I'm I'm about to we're actually about to head out, about to pack our bags and head to Vegas for what, two weeks.
Vegas, ain't this fight? Is this the 17th or the 10th? What day
It's 24th.
Oh, 24. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know that's a different time zone, man. You're going to be shaking your body. You're going from the
That's
east to the
perfect.
west,
We
back
fight
to the
late.
east.
We gonna fight late, man. We gonna be good. It's a method to the math, man. It's a method to the math.
Stay out them
baby.
saunas, man. Stay out them saunas.
Oh, nah, no, man. Hey, you know how much I weigh right now?
What?
I weigh 172.
So now you're going to be too light for the fight? We need you to balloon back
I'm about
up.
to eat. I'm about to eat right now and then go train. I'm good, man.
All right, we got a few more. We got Big Casual that says, "What's up, champ? Since Berlanga..." Well, actually, it was a two-parter. That other one said, "Do you think they're overlooking you? Do you think they're overlooking you?"
Yes, they are. For them to even pick me to fight, they're overlooking me.
We got a Big Casual that says, "What's up, champ? Since Berlanga never been out the first round, is there anything you see on film that you probably could take advantage of on such a young up-and-coming prospect?"
Show no fear. Show no fear.
Everything behind the jab.
So let me ask you something. Do you think
show no fear?
Do you think if you start the box or stay away, like, just purposely try to stay out that first round, if you are on the back foot, is that showing fear in your mind? Like, what does show no fear mean?
Showing fear means like if you if you watch a Mike Tyson fight, them guys be shaking. They
don't throw punches, man.
It look like they gotta run to the bathroom and you know what I'm saying, and just cry. I'm about to, as soon as I'm done this, and you get the same, and he puts the same fear in the dudes he's fighting, man. Like that's, like I said, like you could see the fear in Nel Bello's eyes when he was walking to the ring, or when he was standing in the ring. Like even the last guy he fought, the guy from Spain, like a lot of these fighters be scared. He fought a guy named Gregory Clark that I know good from here, and Greg just took the fight just because he didn't want to really fight Berlanga. He was terrified, but he was getting paid the most money that he had ever made locally, and he was like, I'm taking. As soon as Berlanga hit him, he fell.
So, Damon, those are all our questions. Can you please give?
Hold on, I got two questions. I got two quick questions.
That's right. We got the Francis hour. I forgot about these. Go for it. I always forget about these, but they always turn into the most entertaining part.
Well, yeah, I just got some quick questions I got to ask. You know what I'm saying? These are the world famous questions that are going to transcend boxing. But the first one I want to ask you is, when you are training, do you listen to music, and does that music change pre-fight?
Nah, I mean, like for like each fight, I make like a playlist of music that I know is going to push me and it's going to motivate me.
So what type give us some names if you don't mind.
Shoot, like for this fight, man, I got some 50 Cent. I got 50 Cent. I got Future, man. He motivates the hell out of me. Lil Wayne, even got some T.I., got some Biggie, Tupac, and some Gunna, Young Thug.
That's what you bumping right now.
Yeah, NBA YoungBoy. It's just a whole big playlist, man, with like 200-300 songs, man.
So is it more up-tempo songs to get you like?
It's kind of a mix. It's kind of a mix, like because in the gym, man, like when I'm hitting the bag, it's just a mixture, man. A mixture of everything that when I've been running through the years and training through the years, music that I know, damn, it's all right, bet it's time to pick it up, or it's time to paint, And then I got this, y'all heard of Eric Thomas, right?
Yeah.
All right, I got this. He got like albums on Apple Music, and it's just one that it said, it's As Bad As You Want to Breathe. When I run, I listen to that same thing over and over and over and over and over again, man. Like literally, I can run for 2-3 hours. I'm gonna listen to that. Like I can't run without it now, And it just reminds me, like, look, man, like you have to really want this. You can't just say you want it. You have to live it. You have to eat it. You have to breathe it. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of eating, segue into my next one. What is your pre-fight meal, and what is your post-fight guilty pleasure? Like, I got to have it when I get out the ring. Like, I couldn't have it during camp, but I got to have it.
Man, some cookies, man. Some cookies. Oreo chocolate chip and some cake. a big ass chocolate cake, man. But my pre-fight meal, man, is pasta. Whether it's chicken Alfredo or shrimp Alfredo, pasta, man. I love it. I gotta have it.
And my final one is, if you were a superhero, what would be your superhero powers?
Whew. Man, if I could be a superhero, I would. I don't know, man. I would, number one, definitely flying.
You only get one. You only get one.
Oh, fly. I want to fly. Yeah.
Cool.
That's
good. Thank you very much. All love. We be, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man. I appreciate you guys, man. For real,
man. Thank you, man, for taking out the time to come on this
love,
show.
Man.
I know that this is a big fight. Very important. This is. I know you might not think it because they overlooking you and you think he ain't ready, but this is a big fight for you, man. You win.
Man, this is a no. See, listen. It's two things. Far as popularity in the world and social media, this is a huge fight. This fight is everything. Like, this fight is gonna put me on another level. But boxing wise, like far as like skills and stuff like that, you know, it's just another day in the office, you know. But for my life and how people see me, this is huge. This is huge.
Definitely, man.
But yeah, man, this is big.
Well, Damon, if you can, please give out that social media, and once again, thank you, man.
Oh yeah, thank you. You can follow me on Facebook, Damon Nicholson, and you can follow me on Instagram, Damon_Nicholson, and Twitter, Damon Nicholson. And like I said, man, for all the people who reached out to ask questions, man, I appreciate you all, man. Francis, you're a great guy. You're okay. I'm just man, y'all some great guys, man. I appreciate it, man, for real. No doubt. Man. It's gonna be fun April 24th, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And regardless of what happens, you know, I know Edgar Berlanga is really coming prepared. It's gonna be a great night, man. It's gonna be a great night, man. Great night. Shout out to him too. Shout out to Edgar, man.
Can you do me a favor?
What's that?
One, can you come back for the victory lap, whether you win or lose?
Oh yeah, of course, man.
And two, we got to have Pops on, man. We got to have Pops on, man. I tell you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm gonna have Pops on for sure, man. My Pops get a lot of love, man. So I gotta have him on.
I love it. All right, Dad.
All right.
All right, brothers. Y'all have a blessed one, man.
You too, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yo, I think that's it right there, man. Get the clippy right ready, man. We need that clip that Ennis punches that hard, man.
Hard, bro.
I mean, yo, it's crazy. As he said that, I'm getting messages like, I ain't even gonna say that. I ain't even gonna say that. But
don't forget, man, you are listening to the Boxing Voice. Do yourself a favor. If you can, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. It does help with the growth and the visibility of the show. In case you haven't, and if you haven't, it's your first time, hit the join button and the subscribe button and be a part of the family. We appreciate you so very much. This is your daily Border Wars update. Border Wars 11, Watertown, Wisconsin, June 12th. Get in the ring and swing. Don't miss it. 4,500 people are going to be able to watch, you know what I'm saying, and witness all these great fighters put on, you know what I'm saying, a performance for the first time, the second time, or the third time, fourth or fifth time. Shout out to Eric Cruz. Also, you got indoor and outdoor, you know what I'm saying, ability to enjoy the fights. We got big TVs. It's going to be at The Bar. Shout out to Adrian Rowan and George from The Bar out there in Wisconsin. The fights are getting filled up. The cards are getting filled up. We're making fights. We still need fighters. Sign up, pay your fees, and get yourself a fight. You don't want to miss this one. And we can never forget about BPE Network. Is going to be live streaming the event. Go ahead and check them out. We actually did a show in Florida on March the 13th. And go on to BPE Network, download it, type in Border Wars, and you're going to be able to see all that clips, all that footage right there Also, don't forget, protect yourself at all time. Shout out to Adrian Clark. Shout out to Bravos, who's going to be, you know what I'm saying, supplying our fighters with a waist protector, groin protector, whatever you call it. Appreciate you. And everybody else. Yo, let's get going, man. Basketball tournament's going to be on the way soon. We're going to get it all locked up 3-on-3. Also, we got our live show tour that's going to come to a city near you. So keep your mind locked and ready.
Your mind.
To get your tickets, because it's gonna be mind blowing when you pull in the building. You dig?
Word. Yo, man, bruv.
Coach Myers, man, sorry we missed your question. Nah, you gotta check with the boss. You probably didn't see it.
Nah,
Maybe
he put that late, man. Look, right now it still say James Valdez ruined Big Casual from 2 days ago. So if I refresh, I bet you now it'll pop up. He late with that. There he goes, and it says 5 minutes ago. We've been talking for 5 minutes since he got off the phone, man. You tripping. Yo, let me see if Xavier is available. We were supposed to have him at frickin' 10, but we went over.
Coach Zav.
Liam was supposed to be available at 9:15, and he was still working.
Yeah, let's still cook, man. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Hope you enjoyed the interview. Hope you enjoyed all the nuggets, man.
Speaking of interview, 2:30 today, we will be live at 2:15, 2:30. We're going to have the one heavyweight, what the hell? The true welterweight king, Keith One-Time Thurman, on the program at 2:30. So you already know, man. Is this X? Did he jump on? Who that? No, that's Mario. Let me bring in. Where can I find?
Yeah, my bad.
Call you. I've been
Internet
gone
kicked me
for
off.
the whole video.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I dropped off. Y'all didn't see I dropped off?
Nah, your box has always been here.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have any internet at all.
Oh man,
Like
call
the
you
last
out
5
in
minutes.
boonies, boondocks.
Coach of the year, coach of the year.
Yeah. Is that my man to death? Is that my man to death?
Bring him back. Bring him back.
What's going on, people? What's happening? How are you?
What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Exhaustedness.
Really? What, from travel?
Man. I'm exhausted, man.
I can tell, man. Well, of course.
From what? Traveling?
Listen, just being out in Portugal for a whole year, just dealing with the two Povetkin fights, then
I didn't even think of it like that. You're right.
Then traveling to Gibraltar. I only got back Sunday evening. Haven't seen my family for a long time, and I've got another fighter going out in 2-3 weeks' time, headlining a matchroom card in Spain, K. Prosper beats Sandor Martin. So it's just straight back to work, man. I'm just exhausted. But you know what? This is what I signed up for, so we're here.
Yo, I love it, man. Hold on, Nats. I love it, man. I gotta big up my guy. Listen, that exhaustion, I know how it is when I haven't been out as long, but when you go away and you got to deal with, finishing a task, finishing a mission, getting the mission complete, the debriefing can be the most exhausting, you know what I mean? Especially when your emotions is at its highest, haven't seen the family and getting the win. And so congrats to you and the entire family. But like you said, this is what you signed up for, man. So I love it. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, respect, Francis, man. Good to see you, man.
I was just my question.
And Mungia, how are you?
I'm doing well, Xavier. Congratulations, man. Really, oh man, I can't say anything more about it. It was such a beautiful performance, and the fact that he did a lot of the defensive parts right, like he made the adjustments. It shows that, because it would be one thing for you to have spent a year in Portugal, right? Come back and get the win, and that's great because that's the goal. But it's another thing to spend all that time and see it pay off, right? I mean, isn't that so much more worth it to know that the time you invested there, it showed in the ring? What is that, what's that like?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's, you guys are knowledgeable, so you know how this works. It's to improve a fighter and to build a fighter takes a long time. It's not something that just happens overnight. For you to implement your ideas on a boxer, I mean, I've built so much boxers from scratch, obviously through the amateur system, and then for them to turn pro. That you know, when you take on another boxer, you know, you've got to work with what they got, but also improve them. These things take time. It's not about someone, you know, working with somebody for a couple of months and then, you know, you make a huge difference. Boxing don't work like that. It's like a fallacy. So yeah, all the hard work. Listen, all the sacrifice we made. I miss Christmas with my family. Miss New Year. You know, all these important, like, all, you know, birthdays. I missed my son's birthday. All that, it's just like, you know, you put all that time in, and for him to go and perform like that, and for Youssef to look as good as he did, I'm very happy, because I've been training Youssef like since he was about 15, 16 years old. He's 24 now. About 9 years we've been together. So I did say years ago, people will see, you know, what I've been doing for years. They'll all start to come through now, you know, slowly but surely. But yeah, I'm just happy, man. Just happy but exhausted. I'm actually too tired to be happy, man. Just, you know, just too tired.
That's interesting, man. I you know, because the first thing I was gonna ask is like, why no vacation? Like, I thought you were gonna take a vacation. To hear you saying you're right back in the saddle, like, whoa, this is one of the biggest wins and one of the longest, I would say, camps, right? So a vacation definitely would make sense.
Yeah, I mean, with me, I'm one of these kind of people who's very loyal to my circle. You know, the likes of Youssef and K Prosper fighting in a couple of few weeks time. You know, they've given me everything. You know, they've been loyal. You know, and then obviously even when I had to go out to Portugal, a lot of these guys have had to train on their own. You know, they've had to train with the other head coach here at the gym, or I've had to train them, you know, over the phone. Like, you know, we had to set up WhatsApp videos so I could watch the training sessions and just speak to them and just add bits and pieces here and there. I mean, even Youssef was out for about 2 camps in Portugal last year, but the very last camp, they closed the borders at Portugal, so he couldn't fly from London to Portugal. So the other head coach here had to oversee a lot of the training for Youssef. So, you know, I had to go over a lot of sparring with him, and I had to watch the sparring live and then talk to him during the sparring. Listen, it's been a very unusual 12 months, very unusual. But you see, it's credit to these guys, because I put so much work into them early. You know, they knew how to go about doing the right things. You know, I didn't have to be behind them to say, listen, you need to go for your run. You know, you need to do your bag work. You need to do your pad work. You know, they took that responsibility. They knew that I had a big job, and they were just mature about it. You know, and that's why I won't turn my back on the guys I built. No matter how far I get, I treat my boxers with respect. You know, and they give it back to me. So just all round, I'm just very, very happy. You know, it was a good night.
When you create,
sorry, quickly.
Go ahead.
Just want to say, listen, respect to all of you on the channel, because honestly, you know, when you lose a fight, you get so much backlash and negativity. And Ness called me after I'd lost that fight. Ness was one of the first people to call me and say to me, listen, we need to get you on. You know, and obviously, listen, there's a lot of channels that I won't deal with, you know, because of that. You know, they know I've been on the circuit for years, but obviously you're working with a name now. So obviously, you know, the expectations is high. You know, to take on that job wasn't easy, because obviously Dillian was on a roll, you know. But I did explain to people that Povetkin's a real one. You know, it's going to be a tough fight. And that's why I've got so much respect for Dillian, because he keeps getting in with these guys. You know, and both of us were, you know, we had to deal with a lot to get ready for the second fight. But Dillian is a very strong-minded person. Very strong-minded. He just went straight after the loss. He called me. I was home for 11 days. He called me and said, listen, we need to get back. You need to get back out. We've got to go back to work. And we went straight to work, and we just, even with the delays and so on and so forth, we just kept working. And, you know, eventually he got his rewards. And I'm just very happy for him. You know, he deserves it. He deserves it.
He looked physically so much better. You think that's something that you guys can keep around? Because he does tend to fluctuate between fights. You think he'll stay looking the way he looked for this fight?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, Dillian's got a very, very good team around him. I mean, even the strength and conditioning team, you know, Simon, Al, they did a fantastic job with him. You know, and we're just going to maintain. I mean, to be honest with you, Dillian's been in good shape, like, for the whole year. I mean, obviously, because of all the delays, we didn't go away too long. We just went straight back into the gym. You know when to take it down, you know when to take it up, but we kept ticking over. You know, when the date changed, no one cried, no one complained. We said, okay, all right, we've got a bit more time to get ready. And we just got on with it. And, you know, boxing, it's mainly highs, but when the lows come, you've got to deal with them. And Dillian showed great character. And this is what when you fight good guys, you know, sometimes these things can happen. When you keep getting in with good competition, you know, a lot of these fights are even. You know, you've got to be a man about it and deal with it. You know.
Definitely.
Do you think that it prepares a fighter more to be at the top of the top, like a champion, when they do experience that adversity and are able to like come back from like a moment like this, right? For Dillian, like without what transpired over the last year, I'm not saying he couldn't be as good or even better, but what does it do for a fighter? Like how important is it to experience that adversity and to know that you can hit those lows together and you know, march back?
I think it's based on character. You know, Dillian, you know, he after the Joshua loss, you know, you can see the guys already showed you, you know, I took a loss, but I rebuilt and got back in with good guys. And, you know, he's just a very, very strong-minded person, very hard-headed. You know, he knows exactly what he wants to do. You know, he wants to get that world title shot, and he just continues to work, you know, and every time he gets in with these guys, he just gets a little bit more experience. By the time his time comes, he'll be a handful. You know, he's very versatile, Dillian. You know, a lot of people like to talk about the things he's not good at. You look at the things he is good at. You know, he works up and down really well.
Beautiful jab.
He's got a bomb in that left. You know, that left hook is serious. His right hand, we spent a long time developing that right hand. That's one of the main things we have been working on. And we shortened it, and it's his right hand to me is, you know, almost as good as his left hook. You know, as Nestor said just now, his jab was good on the night, but he's always had a good jab. It's just about being consistent.
No,
you know,
Coach, hold on. Hey, Coach, I gotta give you your props though. Your in between round instructions to Dillian Whyte was on point. You were telling him shorten it up, just shorten it up, and boom, went off like a bomb. Go ahead, Ness. Sorry, I just had to drop that in. So that's great seeing that and relaying it to him.
I was just gonna say that I wish you guys, you know, make him use the jab more. He could literally win the fight like Joe Joyce won versus Dubois with the jab for like the first. He's so long and accurate with his jab. It's crazy, man, the way his jab lands on people. He needs to just use that a little bit more. But we got some questions from the people.
Hold on, I got a question.
Yeah, I got one more too. Go ahead.
Yeah. You slow down, Ness. Why you always rushing, man?
Because then I don't want his time to go out and we didn't get to the people.
Yeah, listen, we talking to a superstar right now, man. It is what it is. He got media obligations.
And that's why he's got to answer the people's questions, not ours.
A lot of questions.
I'm part of the people too. What am I? An alien? But yo, Coach Jab, what's going on? I just wanted to ask you, just dispel this notion from most of the boxing community that says that Dillian Whyte beat a fighter who was, pardon my French, fucked up because of COVID.
It's laughable. Listen, the delays.
Corey Elderman said that, right? I think I seen an article on Boxing Scene that says that.
Yeah, I mean, look how much time, because the fight got delayed, look how much time he's had to recover. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's COVID or this or that. Regardless of how good Dillian looked, there's going to be someone's going to say something. At this level of the sport, you better just get used to it, because you're not just going to get your props and your praise just like that. It just doesn't work like that in boxing, unfortunately. You know, all that matters at the moment is the results. In the first fight, Dillian was doing a number on Povetkin. He was damaging him, and I don't say he made a mistake. I say we made a mistake. We made one mistake and paid for it. But if you look at the fight again, he was doing a lot of the right things. It just this time he made the adjustments, and so then listen. There's always going to be some negativity, but you know what? It doesn't make a difference. Like at the end of the day, we've got our belt back, and we're back in the game. That's all that matters. We're back in the conversation.
Back in the driver's seat, really.
One more question before we go out to the people. I just wanted to ask this because, listen, it wasn't just what he did that impressed me. It was what he didn't do. Like, there were times where he could have gotten overly aggressive and he didn't. It was his approach as much as it was the adjustments that he physically made. Was that part of going back in there and working on the approach that he was going to take into the Povetkin fight, or was it just let's do what we did the first time and not get caught?
To be honest with you, there was no point going into this fight doing what we did the first time because we didn't win. So the idea was, to make a statement early. Hurt this guy, and just be smart and control the range. And that's exactly what Dillian did.
Didn't you get nervous, though? When he came out like a bat out of hell, I'm like, fuck, what if he gets tired? Because he did recover towards the end of that round. Right? He Dillian came out, but after the first 2 minutes, he recovered. Then on the second round, he was on the jab. So it definitely seemed like he needed some recovery time. I was worried like, fuck, he's going to gas out because he went so hard in the first round. But the one that gassed out, in my opinion, I think the one that couldn't take that was Pavek, and he never looked the same after that first round.
Well, and he did hurt him early too. Dillian caught him,
and that was the point. I mean, one of my favorite fighters of all time was Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns, in the first round, would let you know I'm here. He'd hit you hard with something to let you know I'm here for big. And then if he couldn't get you out early, then he'd box. But yeah, listen. We spent a long time, creating a good game plan, and we kind of made sure we had everything covered. We had enough time to do it. So when you put the time in, and you get the right kind of sparring, then obviously the results you get. So just like I said, just really happy for Dillian.
So you're back in the saddle with your other fighters. When is Dillian expected back? Because we hear Eddie saying things like maybe a U.S. debut with Trevor Bryant. I'm seeing Oda Valine, and what else? The other? I think it's one other option, right? Anybody? Nobody?
I'm just sitting nervously because obviously I'm happy to have a little bit of a break, but I know he's going to call me and say to me, right, we've got a fight. You need to get back out here.
Yeah, I think he said summer, right? I think Eddie is saying summer maybe.
In America?
Yeah, well, I wanted to stay busy. I mean, that's the key for Dillian to me, is just keep him in the gym and keep him busy. I mean, and he wants to fight, man. He just doesn't want to sit around. He's always that's why he took these kind of risks, these chances.
Have you seen footage of Trevor Bryant, and do you think it would be difficult to prepare a game plan for a guy that you might only find one fight of? I think there's now, I've been sent 2 links now of Trevor Bryant versus Bermain Stavern, his last fight.
To me, honestly, it doesn't matter if it's Trevor Bryant. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm just excited just to keep going, and just work our way towards that world title. I mean, I'd rather keep him busy. The opponent doesn't matter to me because obviously that's not a decision that I make. I'll get the phone call. We need to go into training camp. We're fighting this guy.
Yeah, well, I'm talking more training because, like, if there's only one fight, that doesn't affect you as a coach. You don't need tape. You don't need to see how the guy reacts or anything because, again, I believe there's only one fight out there. I don't know.
I've got my sources. I'll always find footage.
All right. That's what I want to hear. I want to make sure.
Yeah. Every time someone said they ain't no footage out of this person, I've always found it. I mean, even early in some of the guys' pro careers, there's always like a fighter that comes up and like, there ain't much footage on him, but my guys seem to find it, so I'm not worried about it. I've got a very good team around me.
All right. Guys, any other one before I go to the people?
Nah, go ahead and go to the people.
Big Casual says, what up, coach? Great win for Dillian and yourself.
Thank you.
If they offered you and Dillian these heavyweight fights, which would you advise Dillian to take as his next fight? Charles Martin, Michael Hunter, or Luis Ortiz? I say Luis Ortiz.
Ness, why are you always going about Luis Ortiz? What's wrong with you?
I mean, at this point, he's about to...
Well, don't you like him? You don't like him?
I like him, but everybody thinks...
Get stopped. So why do you keep putting his name out there for?
Because this is the thing. Like the Wilder fans, or should I say extremists, they like to believe that only Wilder gave him an opportunity. So someone needs to just like end that phrase. Oh, it's only Wilder that gives Luis Ortiz. Well, all right. And look, he's 42, 41 at this point. Somebody better knock him off before someone else does because he's still a name, right? So if a guy like Dillian doesn't put that name on his resume, then a guy like Andy would, or Mike Coffey. Give my boy Coffey to fight.
But listen, with all due respect, he's had 2 shots, right? Mm-hmm. He did have 2 shots.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Okay, so we need you honestly be honest. This you would say Dillian Whyte deserves a title shot, yes or no?
I mean, yeah, he deserves a title shot, but what is he gonna do in the interim? What's he gonna do in the interim?
Of course, yeah. We'd have to find something out there. It could be any of those names you're talking about, but we want to
clout. He'll be a world champion if he beats Trevor Bryan.
Listen,
I think he deserves a big opportunity. It doesn't matter to me. It's got to be a big fight. It has to be.
Okay, but the top 3 are busy, right? So then you only got Andy, who's busy. And then after Andy is Dillian in terms of like popularity, pay-per-view, all that. Like, he can't match up with Andy because Andy's busy. Wilder is busy. Fury and AJ are busy. Luis Ortiz is the next biggest name. I mean, Valeen isn't bigger than Ortiz yet. And I can't think of any other name that brings... And Luis Ortiz has done, what, 1 U.S. pay-per-view successfully with Wilder? So it's not a bad opponent. And he's 42. Take him out. Take him out. But now we got the next one is from Ruin 504 New Orleans says, now that the fight is over, can you go into detail on what was done differently in this camp to get ready for Povetkin?
I can't obviously go into detail, but I think as you saw on the night, it was about just making the right decisions at the right time and just controlling the range a little bit better. That's what I will say. And that's what he did.
King Amin in Essex says, peace, coach. Who was your favorite fighter as a kid and why? Hearns?
Evander Holyfield.
Oh, yeah, I love Evander. No one has ever come back to fight like Evander, right? Like a lot of people, try to give us the shoulder roll like Floyd and, but there's never been anybody as active as Evander at cruiserweight or heavyweight yet, or that's drawn me. I mean, David Haye did draw me in, but then, he let me down.
The only kid out there that I think maybe early reminiscent signs of Holyfield maybe is Buatsi. Because I like the way Buatsi puts punches together, but I think he's made a very good move.
But isn't he light heavyweight?
I think he's gone to Virgil, hasn't he? I think he's a light heavyweight.
Yeah, he's with Virgil Hunter.
Yeah, I think.
Now he is.
Yeah, I think if he really wants it, I think he could do something in boxing. I like the look of him, but yeah, Holyfield is a one-off. He's a one-off. He's just, he fought everybody, and undisputed in 2 weights. For me, he's my personal favorite.
I
never screened he's the best boxer of all time. He's just my personal favorite.
No, I love him. But I seen some, post about Anthony Yard changing trainers or looking for a new trainer. Any truth to that? No truth to that. None of you guys.
Nah,
I ain't heard nothing about that.
Nah, bro, it's not going down. What? I don't see nothing about that. But it can.
I was just gonna see maybe did you get the call? I could have sworn I seen something. Maybe he's changing promoters.
I don't know why people keep saying that. Like I don't even know Anthony really. I don't really know Yard.
I mean, maybe they just consider you one of the new up and coming UK coaches that they feel can make the changes for Yard.
I mean, the only link that I have with Yard is I had Junior Saba at my gym for a while. I was preparing him for his pro debut, and obviously he spent years with Tunde. But obviously he was supposed to be on the Mayweather Maidana undercard, but he had the that failed brain scan because there was a cyst on the brain. So, but what I did was he was told he would no better box again. So I made him apply for his coaching badges at my gym. So he became a coach. He's now training Mick Hennessy's son. But on his way up, when they went to the Mayweather gym, when they had Mahara Davis, Anthony Yard, Junior Saba, he was part of that trip. So that's the connection. But I don't personally know Yard. I don't know him. Dillian knows Yard very well. He knows him very well.
Yeah, Yardman thing.
That could be the thing. They could be linking you guys because of that. Maybe they think Dillian is going to do the introduction, but.
Personally, if he wants to make a couple of changes, I would just say to him just to add on, just get a second coach. You don't need to change up. I mean, he spent years with that guy. I mean,
what's wrong with boxing that,
sometimes
man?
Add on.
I don't understand why second coaches are not good for coaches don't like having another eye, another scientist.
Well, they feel. If I'm a coach, I would feel some type of way if I spent all these years with you and now you bring someone else in. Yes, I gotta be open minded, but at the same time, it's gonna play in the back of my head like, damn, I'm not doing something, and that's why they're bringing someone else in.
I know what you're saying, but in boxing, boxing evolves all the time. Sometimes you need somebody who's coming and freshening things up a little bit. Some guys just leave. and then years later they end up going back to their old coach anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Why not try and
Danny
bring
Jacobs
somebody else
just
in
went
first
back
and
with
see if they
Andre
can
Rozier, right?
Hmm.
Right, Danny Jacobs just went back, linked back up with Andre.
Manny Pacquiao. There's plenty of.
I don't know that the link is official. From the story I read, I don't know that the link is official. They definitely met and talked, and but I don't know that they're back together. But I hope
that's news to me.
I hope they actually get back together. But we got another one from Coach Midday who says,
"Yes, Midday,
revenge was sweet, bro. Well done. You are a very modest and humble man. It's a very good trait as a person, but make that noise. You deserve it. My question is, your phone ringing more now? Are you getting approached by more fighters after they saw what you did with Dillian and Youssef? Performances of the night goes to Youssef, in my opinion."
Yeah, I had so many messages on Instagram. I had to put a post up saying just thanks to everybody because I couldn't respond to all of them. Honestly, I mean the feedback was just unbelievable, man. But look, this is boxing. It's like a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you just got to deal with the lows, and when the highs come, you celebrate. But yeah, I mean I've always had messages about fighters, but a lot of the fighters that actually contact me, I know their coaches, so I can't really respond to them like that. You know what I mean? Because it's disrespect. A lot of the coaches you see now, a lot of them came up through the amateurs together, so. It would have to be done in a respectful way for me to do that. I'm happy in my own circle because, I've got my own gym with my own boxers. So if you want to come through, yeah, but as long as it's done at a respectful level, then yeah, we can talk.
That makes sense.
So what other boxers besides Youssef and Dillian are coming up over there in terms of amateurs or potential pros, rather?
Yeah, I mean, the next one, obviously, is K Prosper. He's fighting Sandor Martin in Spain. That's on the 23rd of April. But I'm actually very proud of what I've done with Kay because Kay came to my gym 2 years ago and he had come off a loss for a Southern Area belt. And over in England, a Southern Area belt is the first title you go for as a pro. It's the lowest level. He actually lost that he lost that fight. So his manager said his manager sent him to me because he'd seen some of the boxers that I had in the show. And so we linked up and he won his English title. He defended the title last year, and it's just gone from strength. We had about 4 fights together now. It's just gone from strength to strength. So when he got the call to challenge Sandor Martin, I was out in Portugal, but I was so happy because Kay's never made a penny from boxing. He's always had to sell tickets or make the money up himself. This is the first time he's actually going to get paid for a fight. And I said to him, "You beat this guy. You beat this European champion. You're in a position to challenge for a world title. That's how big this fight is for you." So, and he's 36 years old. So again, I want to get the props for building guys and improving guys, not just because it's a name that everyone knows out there. That's not why I got into boxing. I want to be respected for building fighters from scratch or improving fighters if they come to me. That's what I want to be known for.
Wait, you saying that this is the first time he's gonna make money because he spent so much on other training and stuff, or are you saying this is the first time he's getting paid for a fight?
All the fights he's had so far to this date have been on a small hall show where you had to sell tickets.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes if you don't sell enough tickets, you've got to put your money in your back pocket and make up the rest for the promoter. So he's never made money from boxing. This was the first time he's been paid to fight. So that's why I'm over the moon. Like I said, there's the highest level, and then realistically in boxing, there's guys down there that don't make no money. And I want to try and help both sides of the sports. When you work with amateurs, amateurs box for free. Then they turn over, and normally they go to a small hall promoter, and they've got to run around till 12 to 1 o'clock in the morning trying to sell tickets so they can pay the promoter the money so they can fight. A lot of fans out there don't understand how hard it is at the lowest level. This was the main reason why I didn't shop Youssef to a big promoter, because I wanted him to understand how hard boxing is. So when you're shocked, so when your time comes, you'll perform like what he did. He was so hungry and so confident, and he wanted it so badly. He knew this was my moment, and he told you what he was going to do. I knew what he was going to do to Baker. We know what we had in the gym. So I was really happy for Youssef. He was outstanding.
Shout out K Prosper. We did a interview with him March 1st with our very own John T in the UK. You guys can check that out. Drop the link in the chat so you can click it and get to know all about him. We got another question here for you, Coach, from Calito in the UK that says, "What's good, Coach? Big congratulations to you and Dillian and the team.
Thank you.
If it was your choice, would Dillian's next opponent be Wilder or Trevor Bryan? Enjoy the victory, Coach. Was very proud seeing you on the main stage on Sky."
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. I like both fights, but you know, Wilder's a big name, man. It's the biggest name in it out of the two, so I don't mind either fight. It's whatever makes the most sense for Dillian. And you know, Dillian always just calls me and says, "Right, this is what's happening," and we just go. So I'll wait for his call.
I'm about to get a little...
Remember, Dillian manages his own. He's his own manager. He manages his own career.
I'm about to get a little messy, and it's not like to put you in an awkward predicament, but you know, just I guess maybe it still is an awkward predicament, but I want to know your thoughts, right? Like Demetrius Andrade was interviewed by Brian Custard.
I saw that.
Oh, perfect. So
listen, he's funny.
He's funny.
He is funny. Listen,
I love him now. I said the same thing yesterday.
No, and he's so. I remember when I think he boxed Brian Rose.
Yes.
On UK, and he was just punch perfect. He's one of the best guys around, definitely.
Yeah.
So in that interview, he's facing another Dominic Ingle guy, and obviously Brian Custer said, "Hey, you're quoted in the media calling Dominic Ingle the drug king," and he asked him to elaborate. So Andrade's answer or definition of the drug king, or reason why he calls him the drug king, is because Kell Brook tested positive and was trained by Ingle, and Galahad was trained by Ingle and tested positive, and so was Billy Joe Saunders. What is your thoughts on that portion of the interview? Do you believe, is that a known stigma of Ingle, what Andrade is trying to put out there? And again, if it puts you in an awkward position, cool. I'm just saying, you're another UK coach. I don't know if it's, just asking.
In the UK, no, he doesn't have that tag attached to him. Okay. No. But listen, if that's the conclusion that he's put together, then that's up to him. You know, when a fighter's got a fight coming, they'll say what they need to say. You know, if that's how he feels, then fine. My response to this is just obviously make sure your guy you get the drug testing.
Which is something I forgot to mention. Like, we highlighted the two interviews because he did one with Mannix and one with Brian Custer, and I forgot to mention yesterday that, this dude is paying his opponents VADA now. After Billy Joe tested positive for the nasal spray, he literally said on the interview that he's paying. He said, "I pay for my VADA, and if they can't afford it, I pay for theirs too." That's crazy. That's the first fighter.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the first fighter. Usually the fighters argue for the promoters to pay and stuff like that. So, shout out
then he obviously feels that strongly about it, and then obviously he's done what's best for him.
But it still brings me to the fact that he said Liam Williams has been on a knockout tear because he's with Ingle, and he insinuated it could be extracurricular activities involved. Do you think Williams has legit power?
Oh, he has power, yeah. I mean, he has power, but listen, there's power and there's power. The guys at the elite level, it's different to them. I mean, I remember watching a fight, I think it was Tevin Farmer v. Tennyson. I think Tennyson, one of the UK guys here.
Yes.
He's a puncher, but he wasn't a puncher at world class level to me. Tevin Farmer seemed to handle the shots like quite easily, but I've seen him knock out loads of guys. So to me, again, it's about levels. These more elite guys, they just seem to be able to take a punch a lot better. So, like I said, there's punches and there's punches.
So you don't expect Williams to upset Andrade?
I think it will take someone special to beat Andrade. My fear for Andrade is that he's been. I think that he should have been a household name a good 3-4 years ago. He needed a big fight a long time ago. I mean, a lot of times you can kind of free someone up for so long until their moment's passed or they pass their peak. You're just hoping that doesn't happen with him because he is that good. But boxing's about your time. Things will never happen unless they're supposed to happen. Hopefully one day he will get that marquee fight or that big fight.
Again, these may be uncomfortable, but it's just to gauge: is Yildirim on a higher level than Williams?
Is that the one that just boxed
Canelo?
I think Williams is better.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay, so Andrade will impress you. How should he defeat Williams? I mean, as a coach, are you good enough where the win is a win, or do you want your fighters to look a specific way?
To me, the W is always the most important thing. Win is a win. I'm just interested to see how good Williams actually is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I rate Andrade, obviously. You know, I think he's one of the best out there. Let's just see how good Williams is. You know, the step up is so big from like domestic, you know, to European, then to and the gap from European to world is major. We have to wait and see, you know what he can do. We'll see.
So you don't think that I thought maybe his pressure, right? Like he throws a lot of punches. He's on top of his. I didn't think he was going to do that to Alantez Fox. I did not, especially after watching him in 2 tight fights with a 154-pounder in Liam Smith, right? You know, I didn't expect that. Not to say Alantez is a world beater. He's a tall guy.
I hear you.
I think he also boxed Andrade, maybe. So yeah, I don't know. I was.
But Andrade might like that though. Guys that throw a lot of punches that slick guys like that, they find holes and pick spots. So he might like that more aggressive style. If you're gonna throw a lot of punches, that's fine. But if they're not landing, it doesn't matter, does it? So I'm interested to see that fight. Honestly, I'm looking forward to that fight.
I'm hogging you here. These guys, I don't know if they're busy. So we're talking Andy Ruiz. Did you see his little clip he dropped doing the head movement under the water bag?
Andy. Okay. No, listen. The guy, he puts punches together really well.
No. But did you see the new footage he's dropped?
The new one?
Yeah, like where he's slipping shot. I mean, he's getting under the water bag.
He's ducking. Yeah, he's ducking the water bag.
Showing the new footwork. Nah.
Yeah, but hasn't he? He's always been a good operator, though.
I mean,
I like the way you put that.
He's lost a lot of stomach. His quote is.
He's looking lean. His legs looking very muscular. You can tell that he's been working really hard.
I mean, I was out in Saudi obviously because Dillian had that comeback fight.
Yeah, with Watt.
He had that comeback fight, with Maris Wack. So I watched the fight live with Joshua, the second fight, and it was a very, very disappointing performance. He just didn't look motivated anymore. So if he's motivated now, then listen, the guy can fight.
So wait, so you don't even follow Andy?
No.
What?
No.
Why? Because he beat AJ or because Dillian wants to fight him?
Only Nessa. I'm only just getting used to this whole flipping social media thing. So a lot of it is looked after by somebody else.
Oh.
So, I'm getting good at it now. Though I'm getting better. So yeah, I follow a lot of guys, but just one guy that I don't follow. But maybe I'll start now. If he looks good at that good in clips, then let's have a look then.
No,
you recognize the power in a promotion with him, right? Like the exposure to the Mexican audience and the American audience. Like I don't know if that's a tougher fight than Wilder. I don't think it is.
I love that fight.
I love that fight.
What fight?
I love that fight.
What fight?
Ruiz and White,
Dillian White,
right?
Hell yeah!
I love that fight.
Of course.
I don't know, Coach.
Of course.
That's a difficult fight, man.
You tripping?
But at this level, they're all tough.
Listen, Dillian White leans in a lot, and Andy's the smaller man on the inside. He's got this new Canelo waist. Yo, watch the clip first, Coach. Watch the clip.
We know what's gonna happen.
Yo, there's 3 episodes.
They're gonna
all these fights, honestly, they're all at this level. They're all tough fights, but that's a fight I'd love that fight.
He's got 3. He's got 3 full episodes on YouTube too. Like he's got his own, cameraman behind him. This guy's not.
Dillian will deal with that, man. Don't worry about that.
They're gonna make the unfair
Dillian will deal with that.
With Joshua, right? They're gonna do the he beat him, so he'll beat him type of thing, right? With them,
love that fight.
And I don't think that is a narrative that's gonna play out at all.
And
we were saying that earlier too.
They can do that. He beat whom? Remember, Dillian beat Parker. Ruiz lost against Parker.
Yeah.
So if they want to play that game, that's fine. But I'm just
beautifully
saying,
said.
Fighters, Dillian to me, Dillian beats him all day long. And
twice on a Sunday.
Tell him again.
Yo, he beat the man that beat Dillian.
Get out of here.
Tell him again.
I don't know if Ruiz makes it out of that fight. If he tastes Dillion's power, I don't know. I mean, he's as tough as he is. But listen,
Dillion, on your own.
You see what they doing? No, it's funny.
I'm telling you.
It's funny that Mario is chummying up to you because you're on the. He's Mexican. Like his grandmother's gonna disown him.
Listen, I've always been a.
You're disowned in your house. When they hear this episode, you can't come back.
Yo, no, no. Listen to me. Andy's disowned after that rematch. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I like that fight a lot. I
like it. It's a fan-friendly fight as well. It's a fan-friendly fight, that is.
All right, we got one more. Coach Myers in Connecticut says Michael Hunter was on the show. Michael Hunter was on the show a couple of days ago and says he beats White and White's power is not real. What's your thoughts on the matchup with Michael Hunter?
I've got to take a deep breath for this one because his trainer, I got a lot of respect for him. You know, Hassim. I met Hassim. I think for the first fight at the fight camp. That's the first time I met him. You know, and obviously the period that I watched boxing, you know, he was fighting Tour and guys like that, and he beat Lennox. So I got a lot of respect for him. But Hunter, come on, man, you're gonna question the power of Dillian White. You can say a lot. You could have said anything. You said that. Yeah. I worry about you then. Yeah. I worry.
I said the same thing. I said, man, he put him down. He knocked him out. Like, you ain't put him down. You know what I'm saying? If anything, Povetkin put you down. The ropes held you up.
Well,
I love how Real X was.
I was about to say, well, you know, you should question your own power because you hit Povetkin loads of times.
But I love the way you just said that, too. Like, the authenticness of saying, like, you could say whatever you want, and there are things that you could say that maybe might make people listen, but you went the power route knowing that you sound like a troll now. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I took what you just said. And you know, I think that right.
Or you just doing a lot of Xavier you know, loving the day over here.
No. I didn't say he
denounced
said it.
I say,
let's get you,
brother.
This is a troublemaker.
Hey, X. I just don't think he knows what he did. Like, he literally said that the first ever Mexican American heavyweight will lose to a UK dude that hasn't been a champ just yet, and he's Mexican. His own parents are not letting him back home. It's over. No more Christmas at mom's for you, bro. You're gonna be wondering why.
I'm saying that if Dillian wins that fight by knockout is I think how he could win that fight.
I mean, Mario just proven that all Mexicans don't just root for Mexicans, obviously, right?
Listen, I'll be real.
He's just being real. He's being real now. He's being real, you know?
When you go down the list, Wilder, I think it's depending on what Wilder we see, it's like a 50-50 fight, right? And then you go the Joshua route, I think he has to prove that he's better, which I think he is a better version than he was, obviously. I mean, that's clear as day. Then you go the Andy Ruiz route, and I think Dillian is the favorite in that fight, you know. So you can go all these other routes, and I'll keep it honest. Like, I don't know how much of a favorite he really is against Wilder. I think it's an even fight, but with Andy, I think he goes in there as a favorite.
We got two more from the UK. We got Steve in the UK says, if you could speak with one coach or trainer from any time, or actually he didn't say or, it's just coach trainer from any time frame, past or present, who would you want to speak with and why? Congrats on the W, and best of luck with you and the rest of your stable. Steve in the UK. Thank you,
Steve. That's an easy one for me. It will be Eddie Futch. Eddie Futch. The work. Listen, it's the amount of times that he came up against the elite guys and he just masterminded, a great game plan to beat them. You know, he beat the likes of Manny. I mean, obviously with the whole Frazier and Ali, Montel Griffin against Roy Jones. He had. Listen, the guy he's just unbelievable, man. It's just and Bo's one of my favorite heavyweights of all time. And Bo's so versatile, so skillful. He can fight inside, he can fight outside. You know, again, another student, Eddie Futch. I mean, Eddie to me is just the greatest trainer of all time. Following that, I really do like Manny Stewart. But Eddie Futch to me was the one. I would have loved to meet him.
And the last one is from Ryan O'Rourke, who says, what up, coach, from Liverpool. Is there certain type of style fighters you like to, I guess he meant to put work with, or you happy to train anybody and think you can improve them?
I think I can improve any fighter, but I do have a preference. I do have a style because, you know, I grew up loving watching James Toney. You know, they're the kind of guys that I liked. You know, I like Ivan Robertson as well. I liked a lot of guys. I like Mosley. I liked a lot of guys back then. You know, but my preference is that's the style that I've taught Youssef. He's one of only 2 fighters that I've ever taught to box like how I used to box. But I wouldn't do that with any boxer because I always look at their strengths and how I can try and help and develop them. So yeah, but I think I can improve any boxer regardless of what style.
Well, those are all the people's questions. You guys got any others?
Let the man go lay down, man. Go lay down, chill out. You know what I'm saying? Hola, brewski. You know what I'm saying? That red stripe and just chill out.
Word.
Man,
said
well,
red
X, man, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate your time as always, and best of luck.
Thank you all you guys for your always bringing like positive energy over here, man. You know, regardless of how things are going, you guys, Ness always hits me up, man. So respect to you, man. Have a good day, guys. See you soon.
All right,
see you, X.
Thank you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The trainer of Dillian White, K. Prosper, and Youssef Kimura. Yo, why you ain't big on him? Like, why you ain't talking? Like, ain't those your lower weights? Youssef?
Yo, Ness. I mean, what do you mean though? Like, what do you mean?
I don't be hearing you chatty patty about him.
Youssef is. What is he? Isn't he a junior lightweight?
I thought he was lower than that.
Am I wrong?
Thought he was lower than that. Yo, real quick.
I thought he was
Munguia versus Selecki, yo. Why don't they just say we building him? Why don't they just say that? Like, why don't they just say, yo, we changed trainers and we need to, you know, pull him back a bit, and that's that. Like, yo, they tripping, man. Selecki?
Yeah, that's
And I promise you that's gonna be a tough fight. He be getting touched up, man.
Bruh, that last fight was tough, so you know, I mean,
Selecki has never been stopped, right?
Well,
and all the top fighters, Danny Jacobs, Gabriel Rosado, and my man, Andre, you get them all tough fights. All tough fights,
and
man.
that's what I said. It's gonna be a tough fight, but like, you know, you wanted something bigger than that for Jaime at this point. Like,
you're gonna find out if his power is real at that division, man.
You a
is
former,
it real?
Listen. This is what I'm saying. Like, we let people call in and diss the Charlos or Andre, right? Like, Charlos and Andre moved up from 54 and immediately became champions at 60. They didn't go on this, like, you know. Well, actually, Charlo did fight a few people before he was able to come.
Isn't Munguia champion WBO at 160?
Nah,
I don't think so. Nah.
Oh, I thought he got when he got. Okay, go ahead. So my apologies.
He won like some like regional belt. It was like that's what it was. Yeah. And it was, I think you're right. It was like a WBO regional belt or something like that. But that was a tough fight, though. I mean, if I remember correctly, us three did the fight chat for the Terriano Johnson, and that was a tough,
savage uppercut. He split his lip.
That was the nastiest lip I've ever seen in a boxing match, like ever. That was disgusting. But he was looking good in that fight. You know, Munguia was having all sorts of trouble with Terriano. And Selecki's a different fighter. You know, it's a different style, but I think that, you know, Francis nailed it, and Ness said it too. Like, you think about it, it's like the Gabe Rosado that Selecki beat. Like, does Munguia beat that Gabe Rosado?
Andre told us Munguia was his mandatory, and he the one said no. That's why Liam is here. Munguia knows.
I know.
They know they not ready, man. But that's all right. We're going to open up these phone lines. Get to the. I mean, actually, there's no phone lines. Skype went down. I never got it back up. And Blog Talk, nobody. Nest GTO, Instagram and Twitter. Join us at 2:15. We go live for an interview with Keith One Time Thurman. 2:30. 2:30. We're gonna be live with Keith Thurman, and then after that, we're going right back at you at 7 p.m. Eastern for flagship previews and predictions, where we preview all this weekend's fights. make our predictions, take your predictions, and create a nice list for those that need to eat crow.
Yeah, I don't want to hear no bullshit about who you pick if you ain't picking on Thursday night. At Martin Mookie on Twitter, at Martin Mookie on Instagram.
Why when I heard X say he'd rather take, fighters, I was like, I thought of Mario. Like, damn, Mario, you need to go out there.
Yo, shout out to everybody out there, man. Catch me at Next Up Sports Talk.
Working, man. Showcase working, man.
Go ahead.
Also, you catch me at the Weigh-In Boxing on IG or the Weigh-In on YouTube. Yo, shout out to everybody out there, man. We got a lot of things on the move. Border Wars, June 12th, Watertown, Wisconsin. Don't miss it out. We got a 3-on-3 tournament that's on the way. And we also got our live show world tour, man, that you're going to come to a city near you. So keep it locked. Mario, I heard Mario got some pop. I'm out, yo.
Pop. Peace.
Yo, just last quote from my man Andy, who says, Eddie sees the potential that I have, and he told me that I needed to be disciplined if I was going to work with him. I don't think I ever been truly 100% dedicated until now. It's a blessing to be learning from Eddie every day. Y'all sleeping, man. You guys are sleeping, man. You guys are really sleeping. For real, you don't want to look at Alex Rivera, Rashidi coach. He stayed with a tongue on him. He's like, man, he had a great coach. All he needed was discipline. Anyway, we out. Peace.